this time, but things are going to be a little bit different. We've acquired a lot of newer items, as I mentioned before. I was going to go ahead and do a couple more of those heists, and then we're going to go ahead and kind of do a recap of what I have actually changed with our build. In fact, we actually are going to be using a new skill this time in our playthrough. The whole point of this journey, though, is mostly to give you guys the full entire campaign and kind of how to play it. We might swap up things a little bit as this league, there's new things, and I want to try out everything here as we progress. But don't worry, you'll still be able to progress really easily into the late game. Now, as far as doing like the far in-game stuff, that's kind of unknown if certain builds will work. In fact, some of them aren't actually very viable. But I did go ahead and acquire some new items, and I want to go ahead and actually modify an item this time to go ahead and show you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we acquired a few different items, and I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what we acquired. I went to Siosa, which was in Act 3, and I got a bunch of these gems. In fact, we can just go ahead and go to him just for sake of ease here. So yeah, I just purchased a bunch of these gems, and I'll explain what each one of them does. So now we are going to be using a different skill. Before, we were utilizing the skill Molten Strike, which had these little orbs that would come down. Now we're going to be focusing in on using Splitting Steel and Call of Steel. It's kind of both in one. So when we activate, which is on my W key, it's going to go ahead and put these swords. We're going to have 12 ammo shots. Every one counts as one shot. So basically shoots out, then it explodes. That's our new skill that we're going to be messing around with. But in addition to that, we're also going to happen to have a totem. So throwing down the totem, it just summons a totem, and then it will just attack enemies, but being near it grants us more attack speed. So what I found out with the heist, as far as like actually dying with it, it's much better to have something that absorbs the damage. When there's a door that needs to open up, there's basically this little marker, and we'll show off the mechanic once I show off some more heists here. But basically, it's also great against bosses. It just has another unit up on screen to basically have some aggro. We also happen to have Poacher's Mark, which lets us mark an enemy. Now, it's a lot different than it used to be. So now it curses a single enemy. Before, how curses would work, it would just curse all of them, and you can run this thing called Blasphemy, and you can make it an aura. Apparently, in this new patch with Heist, it has actually changed up quite a bit. So it's a lot more powerful, but you can only hit one enemy with it, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of. I really like using Blasphemy. I wish that we could still use Blasphemy and it would just target one thing that's next to you, but it does not work like that anymore. So that's another newer thing. We're only going to be using it with bosses. We also got, I think we had Stone Golem last time, but yeah, I'm still going to be using Herald of Ash. But there's another thing that we're going to be using, which is going to be, oh, well, let's see. I guess I had the banner already equipped over here. We also have a banner skill, which, where is it? We have the Dread banner. So you see when we have it equipped, it's going to go ahead and grant us. You and nearby allies have a chance to impale. So this is kind of a different build up over here. We've actually swapped to Champion in this part of our playthrough. Now, if you guys are still playing as the Inquisitor, don't worry. You can, I mean, the tree isn't that far away. In fact, since it was going to be Flickr Oros anyways, you'd go this path. So it's not really that big of a deal. But you might actually go for different life nodes. So if I'm getting like some life nodes, just try to get maybe some life if you need it. It kind of depends on what you have for resistances, and obviously the gear, that's all kind of random in what you're going to be getting in this game. So that's just part of it. But anyways, yeah, so I have this banner, and you can see the banner visually. Let me go ahead and actually utilize it. So where is it? I actually haven't messed around with the banner, but I'll go ahead and activate the banner so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. And you can see when you use the banner, it will also reserve some mana. It doesn't reserve very much, but it's just another thing that does show up over here. And then we will also be using a skill called Blood Rage, which I'm not sure if we're going to be able to facilitate Flickr Strike now. I'm going to basically try to do it within the next part of our playthrough, if not this part. So Blood Rage lets us move a little bit faster because we get to attack 9% faster. We also take some damage, but basically it gives us that back in attack, physical damage, leech does life. The most important thing though really is just that attack speed for now, but later on we're going to be benefiting off of the frenzy charges because the Blood Rage over here has a chance when we slay an enemy that we have a 25% chance to get a frenzy charge. A frenzy charge will give us more damage, attack speed, and cast speed. So it's just overall really good for almost everything. But there's the downside. Obviously, you're going to be taking your maximum life per second as physical damage. But it's usually, again, mitigated by the the heal that you get anyways, because it does give you basically some extra leech. But unfortunately, it's only physical, so it won't be that great for Oros, but that's like super way late in the game for the, the Templar that went to Inquisitor build. But you can actually convert some of your damage as well. We're still using a lot of the same items. In fact, this item is new. It's a really cheap item. It's called Career War. It just gives extra projectile damage, lets us move a little faster. We'll also be upgrading our chest piece, but we're still using the same boots that we did last time. We have a different helmet. It's Dyed Bell. It's just additional, technically gives melee damage, which we'll maybe use later in the gameplay. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and update you guys on what we kind of did. And I've also got these gloves that will give us Impale chance, because this is kind of an Impale build. It's still going to be Flickr Strike, but yeah, it's just going to be utilizing the new skill, as I did want to show off all of the new skills with this new league. Now, I also got this new item. It's a replica Harvest Jasper Chopper. So you used to gain something else on a critical strike, but now you gain elusive. So these replicas are different variants of uniques that already exist. Actually, let me go ahead and bring it up real quick. Jasper Chopper POE. I'm just going to go Google it real quick. So what it does, oh wait, that's the type of the chopper it is. It's actually just called the replica. Oh, it's called, is it called, oh, it's just Harvest. If I type in Harvest POE, it's probably going to give me the league, but okay, if I type in Harvest POE Chopper, let me see. So anyways, oh, it's you gain a flash charge when you deal a critical strike. Okay, so that's what it originally does. So it grants us a flash charge. But now it grants us elusive, which will let us kind of go faster. In fact, let me go actually read elusive for you. The thing with Path of Exile is everything just has so much to go into. And like I said, the reason why I buy these all off is simply due to it's just much faster. And like I said, I did some heist, so I got some currency. But all of these were within 1 and 2 chaos. This was 2 chaos. This was like an alk, and this was, I believe, an alk or a chaos. And like I said, I'm buying a bunch of stuff that you guys can also get to, so that way it's not going to be something that separates us from like being able to kind of follow the playthrough here. We've also got 8 Jade Flasks. This will grant us extra evasion rating, and we also get a Granite Flask. This will give us a huge boost to armor over here. So these are 2 new flasks that I haven't explained, but yeah, I just purchased these. I think one of these I might have gotten as a drop, but I purchased one of these. I think it was like an alk, so again, really cheap currency here. But we're going to actually modify these gloves. So to explain what elusive does, you get increased movement speed, an additional chance to dodge attacks, and its effects are reduced over time. So it grants you 15% chance to dodge attacks and spells and 30% movement speed, but it decays over time. So like you go from, let's say, 30 movement speed, maybe, I'm not sure the increments, it doesn't actually explain on the wiki. I actually have no idea. I guess we can kind of check it out, but maybe let's say like it goes from 30 to 20, 10. I'm not sure the exact numbers as it's not specified here. But anyways, we got these gloves. They add extra damage, they give some life, and the most important thing is the impale, and as well as the chance for impale on enemies you kill to reflect damage to your surrounding enemies. So since this build is a little bit different, like the other one we're kind of just scaling elemental damage, specifically fire would be good, but the new Abyssius is what I wanted to focus on, which is it grants you lightning, cold, and fire damage, so scaling LE is just much better as that will scale everything. But for Impale, I need to explain how the mechanic works. So to utilize Impale, in fact, I don't think I even gotten anything that uses Impale on the tree yet, but we still are going to be scaling with it, technically with our Ascendancy. The Templar has Inquisitor, the Duelist over here has Champion. And I have this thing where it grants us 20% chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks, and we can also make it so Impales you inflict last 2 additional hits. And then if you impale an enemy recently, you gain 1,000 armor, and you and nearby allies get extra physical damage for each impale on an enemy. So we want to be stacking these up. We can get up to 7 stacks right now. You can go up to 9. So when you hit an enemy, they're going to be taking a percentage of the damage that you dealt. And that is based off of how much you are scaling your impale damage. So think of it kind of like a damage over time, but in order for that damage over, technically it's a damage that is like a debuff on an enemy, because it's not an ailment, it's a debuff on an enemy, and when you hit them again, for physical damage, it will do a portion of that damage. So that's how we're kind of scaling damage and why we're going Impale. And I'm just kind of testing this out as this is a completely new skill and it works with Impale. That's why we're using it. So it also looks cool. Regardless of what happens with this skill, I will still use this skill even just for its cool ability to have these, swords here. And what's cool is when you see our ammo deplete, we're at like 9 right now, but you'll see that these swords, they'll use like, because the sword is kind of in pieces here, it will use the sword as ammo, which I think just looks really cool. So regardless of what happens, I'm going to use these, and I'm hoping that they have like some type of microtransaction because I try to support Path of Exile because I love this game and company. So hopefully they'll have blue ones and we can basically be Virgil. But I know there's just so much to explain before hopping into the next part of our playthrough here. But anyways, so next up, we've got these gloves. And what I want to go ahead and do is try to get these to 4 sockets. And I want to link all of them for Flickr Strike, which is what I plan to use. This was going to be in both of our builds anyway. So what I'm going to do is use Armor Scrap. You can see that our armor is 0 here because it doesn't have it, but it has evasion. If I use the armor scrap over here, you'll see that it will also increase the evasion if I put more quality into it. By default, 20 is max, but you can increase it even higher by alternate methods, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I also want to go ahead and have the thing have 4 sockets, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I did it on the first try. That was lucky. Okay, now I want to go ahead and link all of them. I want to go ahead and increase the quality so I can have a higher chance at making it so they will all fuse. I want to get all 4 of these linked. That wasn't too bad. Now, normally I would just buy most of these, like mostly linked. It depends on the item. Some items, if it's a really cheap item, you can get them like fully linked for really cheap. But if it's an expensive item and you want it fully linked, it's going to cost you a lot more. But for the sake of this one, I wanted to do it for you guys and show you guys how this works. Now, in terms of the colors, I would like it to have an extra red here. Ideally, so I got. Okay, let me move these. I'll see if we can get. Oh, perfect! I did. I got really lucky, honestly. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and try to get, if possible, at least 2 reds. So I have Flickr Strike, and then I have like Onslaught. It doesn't matter. I want to show you guys what Flickr Strike does. It's a skill that I do plan to use eventually. In fact, I like all my hotkeys right now. We can throw it on control. Actually, that's on money. Let's do Dread Banner on this one over here. Where is it? Okay, and then this one can be Control E. So if you hold Control, you actually have like basically a second skill bar. You can have a lot of different skills. You can just activate them and then remove them. And if it's a passive, it'll just activate and still reserve the mana. But anyways, last time we left off, we were at Act 5. We're still at the exact same spot that we left off right here. It's just that we're just playing with a new skill. Anyways, onwards with continuing here. There's so much to explain in this game. So let me go and summon our guy. So this is what Flickr Strike uses, and this is what I want to use at endgame, although it's not going to be super viable right now because we cannot sustain it. More than likely, that is.
I can't do this just yet.
As how the skill works, and I should probably explain this. So how it works is we teleport, we just hold down the button, and it'll teleport us to another enemy on screen. And it actually is really fast. However, in order to activate it again, because it actually has a cooldown. Actually, let me hold control. Let me get this guy out of the way first. Okay. So it and where's the cooldown? It's like 2 seconds for the cooldown. Does it really not explain the cooldown in here? Hold on. Let me go back to town so I can explain it. As it's kind of important because this is what I plan to do, and if anyone wanted to copy the build, whether you're doing the Inquisitor or Templar build or this build, you're going to want to know what the heck this does. So, okay, there it is. The cooldown time is 2 seconds. So, you activate it, it teleports. If no monster is targeted, it'll pick one at random. You can try to target one, but it kind of does its own thing, to be honest. So, what you are going to be doing with it, it teleports you towards it and it hits them. You have a 17% chance to gain a frenzy charge on hit. So in order to use it again, it can be bypassed. The cooldown can be bypassed by expending a frenzy charge. You will see on our character these little green orbs, and those are what's called frenzy charges. We're going to be generating them with Blood Rage, and we'll also generate them if we happen to hit them with Flickr Strike. So that's how that mechanic works. Gosh, there's just so much to explain. We're like 20 minutes in and we haven't even like started playing, but you know, I have to explain, otherwise some people might be lost here. I'm just gonna level up the gem. You know what? It's just not super usable, but I wanted to kind of explain it. We will be able to sustain it at level 51. We're 40 right now. And yeah, and I'll show you guys how a lot of these things work. And we're still leveling up the gem. It's okay to just use a gem just to start leveling up. Hello, Shroud. Why aren't we using Impale Frenzy? We are going to go Impale Flicker. But if you're just saying just use Impale and Frenzy, I think that, well, another point of the entire playthrough here is to show off every single new skill in Heist. And right now, as far as Splitting Steel or Call of Steel, I like it. It's kind of a wind-up though. Like, you have to activate the swords and you use them as ammo. But what's kind of nice is if you hit them, you can basically, I guess, pull out the shards of steel, because it kind of like absorbs them from your surroundings. That's kind of a good way to put it. So we get this. I think. Let's go ahead and just go back. Oh, I understand. Okay, so yeah, I understand. Flickr Strike can give people epilepsy, and it can make people like they can't handle it because it is absolutely crazy in terms of like how fast it is, and for some people they just don't like it due to it being like that. Anyways, I don't even know if I want to start scaling off of Impale now, or if I want more life at the moment. You know, I'll think about that later. I just want to go ahead and progress here. So anyways, yeah, we'll go ahead and continue. The reason why I like Frenzy or Flickr Strike so much is because it's so fast. Like, if you compare any build, I would say it's definitely contender for like fastest in entire game. Now, in terms of like, is it useful on bosses? Not really, but that's where the Impale build comes in, and it makes things a little bit more viable. But Fleabeard and Trust, thank you so much for the follow, guys. Appreciate it. But yeah, Flicker's has been my favorite skill for the longest time in this entire game, and ever since I went Flicker, going to anything just felt super bad. Even in Delve, when I played Flicker, which is like super a terrible idea, I just went it anyways. If I died, whatever, dude, just get good, try to be fast with the leap slam. So it built up my my reaction time. But I honestly really like Heist, and like after playing a lot more Heist, I would say Heist is my favorite league. The reason why is it's very hardcore feeling, if that makes any sense. Because with Heist, there is that factor of you have to pay attention to the game, because if there's something that like explodes or whatever, you die, you lose all your items. Which is like, it's kind of like playing in hardcore in a game, but like I'm not playing hardcore, if that makes any sense. Flicker sends you to a whole new map. Exactly. I love that though. But yeah, with Delve, it's... Well, I'll show you guys what happens once we do Delve. And how bad it is. Now, some of these you can actually jump over. There are these little... no, I guess the fence. You'll see the spikes. Some of them are basically bent. And when they're bent, you can basically hop through them. We'll throw our totem down. We'll go ahead and throw our Poacher's mark. You'll see it right above his head. But yeah, I'm curious to see how well this build actually does. When we actually, 42, I think is it 42 or 45, we'll be using a different chest piece. I actually got it for really cheap. It's a Belly of the Beast. Because while doing the heists, I just started getting a lot of currency. It's actually really easy to get currency in this league. Like low currency.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there's a Chaos Orb right there. I think I paid 2 chaos for a Belly of the Beast. It's not like a really good one, but it's still at the end of the day going to give us a lot more survivability, which is not something we particularly need. I have what I would say enough damage right now, but I want my Impale to be 100% because that's just going to significantly scale our damage. And also, a lot of the Impale overwhelms physical damage mitigation anyways, which means it's kind of like Pierce or like penetrating resistances in some games. That's the best way to put it. Thoughts on Wolcen? LOM. Wait, LOM. Oh, Lords of Nightmare. Okay. I don't know if they since they updated. Did they make a recent update? I didn't know about a really recent update. I checked it out, I think like a month ago after they fixed the game, as in like it started having a lot less crashes. But even if you took out the crashes from Wolcen, I still don't think that it's enough for me to come back into the game. Like I just powered through all the crashes, the bugs. I didn't really care too much to come back and play because I maxed out already. I think it was like, so 150 was the highest, or is that? Was that Diablo? That was a bad chest because it froze us instantly. But, oh, another thing I probably should mention here. So with Leap Slime, I added something that's pretty important. So I added Fortify support, which makes it so we're going to have melee, the supported skill grants Fortify on melee hit. And when I go ahead and hop on someone, you'll see we have Fortify. We take less damage when hit. I believe it's 20%. Although there might be other things that modify it. But yeah, once we literally get the that belly at 42, we can go back and we'll actually put our skill points in and stuff. I'm just trying to be fast and efficient.
I can't do this just yet.
Their name won't come back. I still don't think Wolcen was a bad game. I know like it got praised, and then like a lot of people that sponsored content, and they all felt bad because like the game was like not complete. But the thing is honestly the game was better several years ago. I don't know why they decided to remove a lot of the features. I don't know if there was just more bugs, because the game honestly had a lot of bugs before in its earlier states. And like obviously that was in early access anyways, but like to release the game at full launch like that, I think I understand that they just ran out of money. That's from my understanding of you know why they had to release it. Because if they didn't, then like what would they do? It would just never come out because they have to pay people to fix the game. And like, I hate saying it, but like, I'm okay with the way that they did it because they just simply ran out of money. There's a difference between like a big company delaying a game because it's actually not ready, and a small company not able to like actually release their game if they don't just release it. So like, I'm understanding of that, but it's annoying at the end of the day. Like, you shouldn't buy a game and have it not work, right? Because if they re-released... Oh, guys, we have a huge patch, so it's not going to make sales. The game being fully launched is actually going to grant them sales. I mean, there's some games that, like, just keep on, like, saying, guys, we need more money on our Kickstarter, and it just never comes out. But yeah, I think Wolcen earlier on was really cool. They had arenas. I even have gameplay of the player housing the arenas because I backed them up. I only paid $10 for the game. For me, $10, even in that current state, that game was pretty awesome. But yeah, I think the game was way better back in the day. And the problem that the game has now compared to how it used to be, the game always was hybrid build. Now you don't hybrid build really. Because the original idea of Wolcen was to spend Umbra and build Rage. And I like how we're making this a Wolcen video. But like, the thing is, I really like the game, and a few of my Wolcen videos did pretty good. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people that, you know, saw those videos. And we're just kind of leveling here. There's nothing to mention other than we're kind of just progressing. And we're looking for a guy to go ahead and slay. So we're basically just kind of progressing through the map here. But we'll go back to town very soon. But yeah, anyways, going back to Wolcen. So you had like this expenditure of like you would spend like you spend like your melee skills, and then you would cast at the same time. You would have a bar that would ping pong back and forth. So you'd have like your mana would go into your rage, and then your rage would go back in your mana. It was a really cool system, and I liked it, and it was so amazing. And the fourth ring never came out in the game. unfortunate. They were actually supposed to have 5 rings. The ring rotation doesn't matter either because they made it so easy to connect the nodes. It wasn't as easy before, especially with the 5th ring that was supposed to be added but never came out, but whatever. The ring system doesn't matter. It was a cool idea. They actually, like, it was looking like, wow, this is like POE status, but like in terms of complexity. So let me go ahead and actually go for... I'm going to get a lot of life with this Belly of the Beast anyways, but let me see if there's any more life nodes. I think there's life leech and damage, so that kind of is like both at the same time, right? Oh, we need to actually grab this. Oh, we can grab cloth and... You know what? I want to grab this. I want to grab both of these. I want to be able to maintain that we're good. Okay, so I have another item in my stash that I was saving until what? Oh, level 46. Okay, I'm just going to put this here because I'm probably going to be forgetting about it if I don't just put it here. So 46 we'll use the Belly of the Beast, which is in 4 levels. Remember. So we're going to pick up one of these. I already have onslaught. Oh, I should explain this too. This, I don't really care about that. I'll save it for like another character or something. But anyways, I actually got this, and it's actually something I get on a lot of my characters until I get boots that grant onslaught. So before we were running onslaught as one of the gems. Oh, you know, I should probably explain our gem setup. So we have added fire, we have splitting steel, impale, support, LE damage with attacks, and faster attacks. Honestly, the only thing that really matters with this is these are just gems that I think I had leveled up already. Splitting steels and impale is the only 2 ones that are really important. The rest, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to be using a new piece of chest soon, but I always like to have Onslaught, and all I need is that 10% chance to gain it. You can get it in a jewel, which I actually haven't explained the jewel mechanic, but there's no jewel slot. And also, the thing to grant Rage is super expensive right now. It's like several exalts. Later, it'll be like 5 chaos, and I'll explain what we'll do with that, but we'll end up getting maybe one of these. I don't need ailments. Unfortunately, Impale isn't considered an ailment. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue. So, oh, we slayed him? Oh, no, we haven't slayed him yet. We just got the waypoint. Hello, Prince. How you doing? Another 10 hours of POE. I don't know if it's going to be 10 hours. But, I mean, I love this game so much. Like, even though when I'm not playing POE, I'm thinking about things in POE. I'm like, you know, what else can we do to, like, min-max in this game? But what's nice with getting attack speed, since Leap Slam will be faster with more attack speed, it just all synergizes really well here. But yeah, we were using Onslaught before. It's just now that we'll get it with the different... Oh wait, now we have Flickr Strike charges. We can expend them. Let's see if we can actually try to sustain this. So this is what our character would do. Actually, we're almost sustaining it. We're keeping it up. Hey, can we just go Flicker? You can see the damage just isn't here right now. It's because it's not linked up. It just doesn't have the damage, I think, right now. It's like, it's almost. I think if we just had a little bit more damage, or if it was just leveled up a little bit more. Oh, I love Flickr Strike so much. It feels so good just to do this. But yeah, I have to level it up as it's lower level. And as you go ahead and increase the quality of it, you'll get more chances to get the Flickr Strike charges. Or it's a Frenzy charge, but I'm going to call them like Flickr charges because it'll be easier. Because that's what we need to build up. But later we'll be able to upkeep it a lot more once we get our new sword, which will... be at level 51, we can purchase it. But for now, this is just going to do way more damage. So we'll stick with this. Like, in Path of Exile, a lot of builds, they can't use like what they want to use in the very beginning. They're basically called like starter skills or things like that. Hello, Trapped, how am I doing? I'm doing really good, man. I'm just really enjoying this PoE league. This is my new favorite league right now. I would honestly say Legion is my like #1 favorite, but like with this one, it's a lot more exciting. The reason why I say it's more exciting is because not only do I pay more attention to the game, like if you play your game in hardcore, right? Like where you're like if you die, that's it. It puts everyone on edge, right, the whole time. And, like, I like that feeling, I honestly do, but at the same time, Path of Exile, there's too many times where you just pop due to the server. Like, it's not even about, like, get good. It's like the server just pranked you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's usually when you get too much density with Delirium, and especially with Flickr and rubber banding. I would never play Flickr Strike on hardcore. Like, it's just a bad idea. You made a Legion character that couldn't do Legion. If you just get like Vault Ice Nova and you just scale some Heralds, like you can do a lot of work. You can hit one button, pop everything on the entire screen, and it just feels so good, and I love it. Wait, do we even have our banner activated? Okay, yeah, it's just on our back. I think you can buy microtransactions to change the banner. I'll look at that later off, because I don't know how many there are. But I'm not really digging the banner skin, at least the default one, which is just a little flag. I wish I could just like toggle it, remove it. I know you can also do a banner in Diablo. This guy never dies. He's literally my least favorite. Like when you do maps, which will be like later in the game, he's my least favorite map to do. In fact, I skip out on it if I can. Because it's just like, he just takes too long to die. He just has a lot of phases. But to explain his phase, he does a little spinny attack. This is like, if you ever played those bullet hell games like Toho, yeah, this is what you gotta do. But it actually hits for a lot of damage. Oh my gosh. This build actually has a lot less defenses than my Inquisitor. So if you were following my build, you'll be a lot more tanky. But this build, I mean, the other build was doing enough damage because it scales Ellie, and it's really easy to get a lot of Ellie damage earlier on in the game. Because you can just get a weapon that has, like, plus this to fire, plus this to cold, plus this to lightning, and then you just run anything that gives you Ellie damage, and then it scales all three of them at the same time. Whereas, like, physical, it just scales physical. And watch out when he does that, don't stand in it, and when he does this, you just run around in a circle. Go ahead and throw the mark on him. Poacher's mark. If I can lock onto him. Oh, okay. That's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. We died on him. What the heck? I didn't even see anything hit me right there. And that's why I don't play hardcore POE. I think that might be our like first death with this character. Yeah, like I said, this is why I don't like fighting him. He has just too many phases. Although I feel like we should be doing a lot more damage. There we go. Finally, we got him. Have I noticed how casual games are becoming popular today? Oh, yeah, like with, was it Among Us, and Fall Guys? Yeah, definitely. Hello, Ellie, how you doing? I'm super new to Path of Exile. Any tips? Oh, perfect. I mean, if you're just starting out, I recommend you to check out my, like, super beginner guide that starts you off from, like, level 1, and we kind of hold your hand and do all the quests. As if you look up Path of Exile Beginner Guide, you're going to get like a 10-15 minute video and it'll explain way too much and you're going to be overwhelmed with it. So my recommendation would be to, you don't have to watch my guide, but any guide that starts you off from level like 1. But if you have any questions, you're welcome to just go ahead and ask me here, as that will probably be much easier. So I do want to go ahead and eventually go to this area, as this has a jewel slot, which will let us get a jewel. Which, actually the outer jewel slot will probably be better for us. But either way, this area is so nice because you get the 15 or 14% increased maximum life and then 20 to life, and there's a bunch of 5 lives here. So it's really good for survivability. But I need to get my Impale up just a little bit more, as my default Impale chance is, well, I'm just going to say 60%. One of my items I can get it to be 20% instead of 19, so that will basically make up for it. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start scaling Impale, which is actually, I think there's one up, yeah, there's one over here. And the thing that I really would like to get is increased Impale effect. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just start pathing up over here. And we'll go ahead and get a lot more damage. And then also, I'm going to probably get the life, this specifically first. It just adds a lot more as we died once. Well, that guy does a lot of damage. Sometimes with bosses, don't worry if you die on like a boss. Don't feel like my character's super weak. Sometimes there's certain boss mechanics where if you don't dodge, you will just die. Like it usually doesn't matter. So now this is like our first look at the jewels over here. I'm gonna move my face out of the way. So we have different jewels will affect different skills. One that I really like is like the frost blades, right? This one's a frost blade. I usually get this one because I usually start off with frost blades, but this league we went technically I started off with that molten with the firewall, which I don't even know if it works. It says it's a projectile and it's kind of passing. I don't know if it really passes through the wall, but it's like kind of there. But whatever skill that you're using, look if you have the skill that you're using to be on here. Sometimes with these, sometimes if you do it earlier on in the league, sometimes some of them, like with Molten Strike, they can be maybe worth like an Orb of Alchemy, like you can just sell it to someone else. But I don't think there's going to be anything like Freezing Pulse is a very popular skill as well. Just depends on the league and what people are going to be running, and sometimes people just don't want to wait. They want to get the thing ASAP, so they'll pay for it. But I'm not sure which one sells for more, so I'm not going to get one now. But for the sake of this, I'm going to also show you that you can sell these, and you can get 1 alchemy shard. Is it worth it? Well, from my instance, we're not going to show you guys how to sell things, and this is not going to be really worth anything, so I'm going to sell it for literally 1 alch shard. I don't know if the other ones sell for more, but yeah. But yeah, I'll probably do Molten Shell, because what is it? If you're talking about Immortal Call, cast when damage taken, I don't really have the setup for it right now. I don't have the room on it, because I'd rather level up my Flickr Strike, but I definitely could if this gets, if I get good enough links with it. You know what, we could do this right now too, if I happen to have enough, no, I only have 3 armor scrap. I'd rather max out the armor scrap. Actually, it's already 10%. I just need, actually, we could probably do a few heists, and then we can get this up to 20%. The reason why I want it 20%, because it'll have higher chance to have more sockets when I go ahead and modify it. But we're really close to it.
There'll be time for that soon enough.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go over here. Oh, they were supposed to talk to the bandit over here. He's mad at us. Ooh, where to go? Oh, I have no waypoints from here. Oh, wait, you know what? I think this is the exit. Usually if you hold, I think, well, I don't know what the default key is actually. Oh, okay, so we eliminated him when we went, where did we go here? Okay, I think we go towards courts. But yeah, Immortal Call used to like prevent all physical damage, right? And then it got nerfed and everyone started using Molten Shell. But yeah, things get nerfed. You know what I was super disappointed by? Is Blasphemy. Is there another way you've done it, Shroud? Like, what did you do to, if you had a build that used Blasphemy and like a curse as an aura? Because now you can't do it. They used to have rings with curse on hit, but like they removed that too. They have curse elite on hit only. Which, I mean, like it's still helpful, but like, and it's more powerful technically. But the thing is that without like Assassin's Mark and I wanted Poacher's Mark. Oh my, jeez, that was a close one.
You die rather well.
Yeah, once we get that next 3 levels, for that Belly of the Beast, we'll be a lot better off. As a lot of my gear should be replaced. It should have been replaced a while ago, but I'm just like, you know, I can make it. You know, I'll make it to the next thing, or the next like threshold. In fact, the boots that we got off the guy for like, was it like an Alk? They're actually really, really good. And like, there wasn't really anything better within like a 1 chaos price range. So we're sticking with them. If I go RT, I can use vulnerability and presence. Oh, like That's the amulet, right? I forgot what the amulet that grants, what is that, like, it'll just grant you something with, like, no reserved, right? Elder amulet, oh, okay. My amulet slot isn't really, like, important later. Like, earlier on, I'm going to use the new, Ungol's Harmony, which grants us 350% crit chance, which, like, it sounds like, oh, that's so good, but you get no crit damage, which is fine, because I don't scale crit damage, at all early on. I just want to maintain being able to activate my Flickr Strike at 51, and that's, like, the easiest way to do it earlier on, as auras you don't get until level, like, 60-something, 67, I think. But I still always, like, even if I'm going, like, another build, I always still go Terminus S, the Tiger Sword, first. Because you just have so much more clear speed. As long as you have the damage, that's the thing. And like, I'm trying to skill damage as much as I can, because Flicker without damage is so pointless. Because the whole point of Flickers is speed. And a lot of times you can kill a lot of things before they can even, like, activate. Which is awesome. And we also have, what is it, Doom? Is it Doom Fletcher? It's some two-handed sword that we'll get. Damn, that guy popped real fast. Design. Gotta go all the way around. Pull the lever. Yeah, the thing that I really do like with Flicker is, yeah, you can definitely go a huge DPS. The Summoner build with a huge amount of pets. I mean, I've made a Necromancer build. I mean, I have gameplay of it. We did Cyrus, let's see, Metamorph League. Metamorph League, we actually did 2 different builds. The 2 builds that I did was Ice Shot and Ice Shot and Necromancer. Necromancer was still really OP at that league. Like, Necromancer was so incredibly good. Like, you would heal for like I don't know, like 5k energy shield every second. It was so dumb, that build. And it was really cheap. And then, like, when I started min-maxing with, like, that plus, was it level of, like, minion gems in it? Oh, it just became out of control. Like, I didn't even need to look at my screen. If I wanted to go on a boss, yeah, I would spin. For, what was it, the Spirit Offering or something like that? Frenzy, Impale, Barrage. Yeah, Ice Shot was really fun. I really like Tornado Shot too. It got nerfed, but like, I still think Tornado Shot was really good for leveling. But late game, yeah, Tornado Shot just, it didn't have the damage. I min-maxed pretty hard that league. I liked Metamorph. I thought it was a cool league. And just some of the stuff was like impossibly hard. Like, it was always get one-shotted. But I was just like, whatever. And like, you know what? I looked up like other people's like builds. Like, how are they not getting one-shotted? And like, honestly, minions just made it so much easier. Like, I didn't have to like min-max on the defenses. Is that all we needed? Okay, so we found one of them. It's like, what is it? The hair, the jaw. I just remember hair and jaw. But yeah, you have to find these 3 parts in the reliquary. Yeah, just one shot Metamorph first. I mean, yeah, what I honestly did with some of them, like, I was able to, because I was doing Ice Shot, they'd just be frozen. So we got the jaw. And the last one's... Is it this way? I'm guessing this way. I'm hoping it's not on the like the right side. Oh, it's totally on the right side, isn't it? But yeah, hopefully the Flickr will be high enough level very soon. Be able to do enough damage. We also have to get our Impale chance up. The reason why we need to get our Impale chance up is because if we don't have like 100%, like right now we have over 100% because this skill, it's a Call of Steel and Splitting Steel. It already has a base of 60. Oh, it's the Tooth. Okay. We'll go ahead and take these back.
Remember, we do this.
There we go. And we gotta go kill somebody. Which is over here. Yo, Darkstar! Thank you so much for the subarino.
Xbox bought all of Bethesda Monicus.
Well, thank you so much for the sub for the 37 months, Darkstar. I appreciate it, mate. But Xbox bought all of Bethesda, really? Like they own like that's a good buy though. Like the thing is that like Ninja Theory for me, like I like that company a lot. Unfortunately, with their most recent game, it just didn't pick up. I think a lot of people liked Hellblade, but I would say that's more of a niche game. I'm not sure if Hellblade would sell consoles as much as like if you announce Skyrim 2 or right, what that would sell a console, I would say. But most people enjoy those games on PC because of the mods, right? I mean, myself included. But at the same time, I gotta give it to Xbox. Xbox actually allows mod support. PlayStation, I don't know. And Bethesda bought out my favorite studio, which was Arcane Studios, and then they made Prey, which I didn't really enjoy. You know, a game I really want to see Arcane Studios make is Dark Messiah: Might and Magic 2. That would be such a good game. It's got such insanely good reviews too. I don't think that game will get a sequel though, sadly, because you'd have to. Might and Magic, I think, was bought out, or Tencent, I want to say, owns part of that franchise, as they were making a lot of those mobile games. But I'm not positive on that. Go ahead and throw down our totem. But like, once we start hitting him, he just starts taking more and more damage, and I love it. It almost reminds me of in Diablo when you have the Bane of the go here.
Farewell.
And clear out the hideout and get that as a hideout, but I don't like that hideout. I like the green hideout that I have, the little forest one. Hello Kitty, how you doing? We'll play Fortnite later if you're down, if you're still awake. But I'm wondering, what else is Bethesda going to come out with? I know they're doing Elder Scrolls, like online still. They're still like supporting that game, which is good. Wait, where do I need to go from here? Oh, I just need to go back into town. I'm sitting here shooting stuff. Alright. Now, oh, we're just one level away. One level away from being able to use our belly. And, in fact, since we're almost able to use the belly... Because we only need, how many more? These armor scrap... It's like such a cheap currency. I just feel like buying it. We need how much? 5 of them? It should be really easy to obtain. I feel like I could just go do like a couple heists. You know what? We'll go ahead and do a couple of those at the end of this. Yeah, we'll do it at the end of this act. Okay, so we gotta talk to who? Oh, Bannon. Okay, take one of these. As far as these go, honestly, the extra melee strike range is kind of cool. For Flickr Strike, it doesn't really give you that much because it's gonna just target it anyways, but it's still nice to have. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 5. Okay, yeah, I need to grab this one specifically first because it's going to give us so much extra life. What's weird is this one, it shows it like right above where we need to go, but that brings us somewhere else. That brings us here. It's really weird how this is set up. I wish they fixed that, because I know for the longest time I could not find where I needed to go. with the first playthrough. Oh, Xbox owns Doom. Doom is pretty good for single player. I like that game. But I think in order for a console to move units, it has to be a multiplayer game, 100%. It needs to be a multiplayer game, and here's the thing, it needs to be free. If you really want the next big game, like, the thing with Halo is they already announced it on PC, so a lot of people are like, well, I don't need to buy a, Oh, we have a first Delirium Encounter. This could give us some currency too. Alright, well this is awesome. So how this league mechanic works is you kill a bunch of stuff and they get stronger and stronger. Eventually they get like so strong that it basically feels like it's impossible. Somehow I accidentally canceled one of our abilities. Yeah, the Flickr Strike doesn't do the damage. Or it could just be that the mechanic already got too strong. But yeah, this is a mechanic you gotta be very careful on if you do hardcore. Because it lags the game so much sometimes that you can't even do anything about it. And as we build up the little currency thing, the little icon in the bottom left, we'll get better rewards. I'm glad that we got the currency one, as this is my favorite one, and the only one I really care about for the most part. It's like the most consistent one that's going to always yield some sort of result. So basically how it works is it's kind of like a donut. So it basically opens up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But in the center of the donut, if you're in this like the center of the donut, what happens is it ends it. So you want to basically go as fast as possible. Now, unfortunately, the items still drop. It would have been much better if all the items dropped at the very end. Now, all of your rewards will drop at the very end. They also have this mechanic where you can just fast forward, the Delirium mechanic. And if you're like almost able to get another one, like we're basically halfway up on number 3 right now. If you're like super far away, you might as well just go ahead and end it. And because like we're at the end of this area, I don't know if we're gonna push it to 4. I'd like to, but I think the Delirium mechanic, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward it. So they added this because if not, you had to wait for it. But
Look at this guy.
okay, it's not too bad. Oh, we got a small cluster jewel. Okay, this is an interesting mechanic that I can go ahead and explain. So this cluster jewel, how it works is you put this on your tree, but it has to be on the edge of a jewel socket. So you put this one in. I can't do it because I have to put the point in here. But it'll allocate and it'll give you 2 extra passive skills. And it says added small passives grant this. The only one that I really care about is getting the ability to use rage. So rage is going to increase our attack speed, move speed, and attack damage. And you can scale it up to 50% of 50% attack damage, and then you get like 25% attack speed. It kind of builds up. That's the only one I really want. And it's kind of it builds up over time, and it's really good for Flickr because you go super fast anyways, and it just anywhere where you can get extra attack speed, I'm all about. So how this guy works, he basically does like a fan attack or a cone attack when he does this little swipe. You haven't played Xbox in a while? Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last game I played on Xbox, I think was Halo. Not Master Chief Collection, but what's it? Halo 5? But the next Halo game, what's kind of cool is it's going to be the last Halo. Like it's planned to be like a continued Halo. Like there is no Halo Infinite 2. Like this is going to be the last, and like not as in like they're going to not continue the game, but it's a games as a service, which I actually think that can make the game be a lot better because of, you know, multiplayer being such a huge part in games in general. Like a lot of kids these days, they don't want to buy games that are single player because they don't want it to be over, you know. Especially if the game's not free. If it's free, then I don't think people care. But if people have to spend money on it, but Halo's going to be free anyways. Halo Infinite for multiplayer, which is crazy. I'm sure that campaign will be awesome as well. But you know, most people are in it for the multiplayer. And yeah, I can't believe Halo is free. I believe they tweeted that out. This guy, by the way, he might one-shot us a couple times. I should have paid a little bit more attention. Yeah, I was a huge fan of Halo 3. Like, I grinded that game so hard. I'm just trying to check out how much damage these are going to be doing. I love that animation of all the swords coming out. So when his heart comes out, that's when you want to be able to lay your big DPS on him. But like you can't eliminate him all at once. It's a set like amount of health. Oh yeah, thank you, Damon. Yeah, confirming that multiplayer is free. That's it's crazy that like we had like AAA games. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Call of Duty Warzone is free to play. Obviously, the other one you're gonna have to buy. But we're moving in an age where like every game will be free. I don't think any game can cost money and be like a top 5 game that's not already established. I mean, Among Us did it, but I think that's in a different genre though. That's like a, I'd almost say, I'm wondering if that game will stay though. Remember when like that League of Legends, what was it called? Their auto battler came out. I know Runeterra is a card game. I'm not sure if that game is still doing well on Twitch, but in order to be like a top, like, you know, 5 game on Twitch, I'd say it has to be from like a company that's probably already established. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we go back to technically Act 1, but it's in the future of Act 1, which is kind of a cool mechanic. Alright, so, dang, this act was actually a lot faster than I thought, so that's kind of perfect. So I want to go ahead and actually kind of show off the heist mechanic, since I'm trying to do at least one heist in each one of these so you guys can kind of see how they evolve too. But, like I said, I've been doing a lot of these heists off-stream, and the reason why is because, well, I think it's not part of the walkthrough guide, as some people don't want to even interact with a mechanic, and I totally get it because some people don't like it, they just want to go ahead and continue, and that's fine too. I'm going to go ahead and just dump in all my items over here because I don't need to go ahead and hold on to these. So I just need to get some more armor scraps. So ideally I get 5 of these and then we go ahead and upgrade this. And this I'm just going to sell. This I can just hold on to. I don't think I'm going to use it anyways. But yeah, I'll do some of these. We'll do the 44. We'll do the hardest one. And we'll see what we get for our rewards, because that's always fun. Or what I don't get from our rewards and die and then cry about it, because last time we had an Ash Rend, I ended up actually playing and getting another Ash Rend. Whoops. I'll show you guys what the item does, because we died with it, and I mentioned that. I'm like, oh, it's not like that big of a deal. The reason why I wanted it is because we were scaling like LE damage anyways, and it makes it so Socketed Gems are supported by level 10 added fire damage. So basically, in Path of Exile, you can have a 6 link, that's the max, but you can basically have what's called a 7 or 8 because it will grant Socketed Gems get this, or if your something else grants you this, then you can go even further. It also makes it so you gain a lot of fire res, and that's really nice in the first beginning of the game, but you also get increased physical damage with ranged weapons, but I prefer using Brisk Wrap if I have it because it gives us the extra attack speed and also that move speed. It's only 5%, but anywhere where I can make my character faster, I want to do it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do one of the heists, as they're definitely worth it now. I'd say once I hit level, like, 10, I would say they're definitely worth it. Microsoft bought Bethesda. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They also bought... Oh, don't remind me about that. I feel so bad for Rare. Like, they made some amazing games, and then they were like, yo, Rare, we need you to make those Connect games. And honestly, yo, you know what I actually have? I bought it because I wanted to stream it. I have Connectimals. I wanted to stream it. We'll do Connectimal stream sometime. That's definitely on our list. All right, so let's go prepare the heist. Oh, I like Tulina. But yeah, you're right. Just because a company buys, you know, game, I felt like they gave Ninja Theory a lot of freedom, and I felt like Ninja Theory's
You know what you're doing.
that game, I wanted to like it, and they are capable of making good games, so hopefully in the future that'll change. So this is the heist mechanic, which now I'm going to try not to alert the guards, but as I have this golem pet, he might kind of just do what he wants to do anyways. Oh, well, okay. I need her to open this. Ideally, what I've been trying to do is just throwing the totems so they get distracted. Am I rubber banding? Oh, I don't actually want that. Nothing good. I'm not sure what this is, but that's going to increase the... So what I've been trying to do with this totem is not necessarily using it to distract so I can kill them. I'm using it so they get distracted and I can just run by.
Who falls for this?
Grab the div card. Oh! 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 That was close. That was so close. We almost died. There wasn't any good drops, but I still don't want to die, you know?
I see what they've done.
Guys, we need that belly of the beast.
Clumsy work is going to get us caught.
Oh, those were talismans.
Security has spotted us.
Goes there.
Who falls for this?
Armor scrap, that's what we needed.
We have a job to do.
I hate how they don't stack. Like, each one of them uses their own little... oh, did they fix that? Oh, they must have just fixed that. Oh, that's so awesome. I was literally just complaining about that.
Let's go.
And they already fixed it. That's why I love Path of Exile. They, like, fix things really fast within the first, Oh, wait, this is what I need to open.
I see. Get them off me now.
Hopefully this won't make it go all the way up. Okay, perfect. So sometimes on some of these there'll be these saves and you want to like make sure you go ahead and open up the saves. Now since I have one extra like alert thing.
No more distractions.
I got one-shotted. Alright, well, and then we lose all the items. Now the only thing I really cared about was these armor scraps. That's kind of disappointing. Alright, we'll do one more because that's kind of disappointing to end off on that. I really need that belly of the beast. I need this one extra level. But, rip. That's why I like it, because it makes it intense. Although that particular one, it's not intense when I just get wrecked in one hit, right? But I need the extra armor because my character right now, we have, I would say it's not the greatest of armor. We have 34% damage reduction, but if I hit someone, like I wasn't really hitting an enemy, but let me show you. If I hit an enemy, oh wait, I know my face is kind of blocking it, but it's the first number. We have 866 armor. The estimated physical damage reduction is 34%. Well, watch what happens if I hit an enemy. Wait, let me activate my buffs first and get my golem out. So if we hit an enemy, we go from 34% damage reduction to 65. And because I wasn't hitting the enemy, I wasn't getting the damage reduction.
Good. Now, focus.
Okay, let's see. I don't really care about the talismans though. So I'm gonna skip out on those. Those are like necklaces because I have one specific amulet that I almost kind of need to use. But what I should be doing here, I even got the totem and I explained what I wanted to do with it and the reason why. Is at the very beginning of opening up a door specifically. It's very nice to have that. It depends on like this one's just disabling a trap over here.
Too clever.
And we got one armor scrap. But on some of the doors, it's just like if they're all sitting there ready to shoot you,
Good. Now, focus.
then you're just set up to basically get one-shotted.
Thank you very much.
Oh wait, we got. Alright, how many armor scrap did we get? We got 3. Okay, let's not mess this up.
Clever.
So yeah, this time I'm not gonna go for the talisman. So I'd like to throw it out like immediately, so like they have a target. Because again, there's a lot of times every time I die in this, because like I said, I did play some of this off stream, and every single time that I die in these, it's because actually we can get both of these. These could both be good. It's because as soon as the door opens up, there's like 5 guys that just shoot you, and then it's like I didn't get to get the buff of my armor
I see.
to proc. But yeah, we opened up pretty much every chest here.
No more distract. Fun part's almost over.
These ones, they put off a lot more alert, but they give you like whatever, like this type, I guess it's the talisman, which I really don't care about. But now, like, we can attack everything, it doesn't matter. All I have to do is every like 4 seconds attack once. So like this one over here, this is where you would die. I guess the golem taking it for me this time. Thank you, golem. Wait, oh, this is an area we don't even need to go to. Here we go. Yeah, as soon as that door opens, rip the totem. He lost half of his HP. I really wish they made it so you could, like, permanently keep one of these guys with you. Like the heist people that we hire. I wish we could hire them somehow. Like, because they take coin, right? I really feel like a really cool league for Path of Exile would be a follower league. That was actually really dumb of me. I shouldn't have jumped. We're fine, though. Alright.
Plan on working with me in the future. You ought to get used to the feeling of success.
Okay. So what we'll go ahead and do is I will acquire... I'm going to do a couple more of these heists. And I'm going to get the armor scrap. And then I will resume our next part of our playthrough on the next act. Ready to go when we have all of our... because I just need 2 of these. And then we're going to modify the armor. And I'll do it live for you guys once we go ahead and get the... well, I need 2 armor scrap. But anyways, this is going to be the end of... what act was this? Was part 5 because this was Act 5. And we will do Act 6 very soon. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll catch you in the next part.